What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Justin here. As always, guys, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. Today, we're going to be talking about the brand new Sylvester Stallone throwback 90s style action movie, Samaritan. Before we get into that, my name is Justin. This is Movie Watch Daily. It's been a while since I posted on this channel. I have been very active, but it's been on my other channel, The Dead Couch. That's my collecting channel and retro review channel. As of late, I've been showing off a ton of really cool things that I've picked up from Spirit Halloween, a bunch of animatronics and collectibles. I've also been talking about a lot of physical media stuff, so if that kind of stuff, if you're into collecting and nerd shit like that, you can catch me on The Dead Couch doing that. But today, let's go ahead and break down my quick review of Samaritan. Now, I want to preface this review by saying this isn't going to make my top 10 movies of the year. I'm not saying that this movie is amazing or anything, but overall, generally, I had a really good time watching this movie. This movie is right in my wheelhouse, and I think it'll be in a lot of yours who are maybe grew up in the 90s and who were very accustomed to the 90s style action movies, the stripped down, sort of dumb, by the numbers action movies like Last Action Hero and Demolition Man and Judge Dredd. Those kind of heightened reality superhero style movies that were fairly grounded, because that's what this is. Samaritan is essentially at its core a superhero movie, but not in today's sense, not blue beams from the sky in CGI environments floating around in space. It's not like that. It's a little bit more grounded and gritty. The whole premise of the movie is spelled out for you in this pretty cool, like 3 to 4 minute comic book style sequence, and it basically lays out the premise of the whole movie. You have Samaritan and his twin brother Nemesis. You go back decades before the movie picks up, and you have Samaritan who's fighting for the good in the world. He's like the hero, kind of like the Batman Dark Knight vigilante guy. And then you have Nemesis, which is the antithesis of that, wanting to spread chaos and anarchy, and he's the bad guy of the movie. And Nemesis one day leads Samaritan into this building, and supposedly they both blow up and die fighting each other. The classic good and evil scenario. Decades later, we pick up in modern day in a town called Granite City, which is basically just generic crime-ridden city. We view the rest of this movie through the lens of this kid named Sam. He lives with his mom in this shitty apartment complex. Dad's gone. They're always getting eviction notices. Like I said, everything in this movie has been retread. And in an effort to help his mom make ends meet, he starts to get involved in like seedy underground crime. There's this, I guess, Foot Clan-esque underground crime group led by a guy named Cyrus. Picture Cyrus as like Shredder, and all this group of like wayward teens doing all of his bidding and petty crime is like the Foot Clan. Sam also believes that Samaritan is still alive. This whole city sort of picks sides, and they're super fans of Samaritan and Nemesis. People either looked up to one side or the other. Cyrus, this leader of this underground crime gang who grew up worshiping Nemesis. And then you have Sam, who grew up worshiping Sylvester Stallone's character, Samaritan, and he's like the good kid, and he believes his neighbor Sylvester Stallone is Samaritan. The whole story sounds convoluted and super simple at the same time, which it kind of is. Nothing about this movie is super amazing, but as the story plays out, it is pretty interesting. It's got some decent action, but really I just got the nostalgia feels. I felt like I was watching a movie that was pulled right from the 80s or 90s. It's directed by the same director who did a movie called Overlord, which I really enjoyed. What ends up happening in the movie to create some conflict is you have Cyrus. He gets a hold of Nemesis is, all this shit's so dumb. That's why I hate superhero shit, because it's all so dumb and made up. But there's this sledgehammer that was forged in steel, and Nemesis,
Nemesis, like, hate and, I don't know, evil shit was poured into this sledgehammer as well, so it holds the power of Nemesis. And Cyrus gets a hold of it, gets a hold of the helmet, and he's like sort of the new Nemesis. So Samaritan kind of has to come out of hiding and fight this new
fucking Nemesis. I don't know. It's all really dumb, but it ends up playing out and being a pretty goddamn good time. Where the movie falls short is its character development and its just reliance on old played out tropes. It kind of doesn't have enough action sequences to make it exciting all the way throughout. It really just kind of focuses on this kid Sam and his relationship with Sylvester Stallone's character. There's a lot of like Rocky style shit where Rocky is giving these motivational, not Rocky, Samaritan is giving these motivational speeches to Sam because Sam needs guidance, so he becomes kind of this father figure to Sam, kind of like Terminator or Last Action Hero, all those very tropey type things. But this movie does have a lot of heart, and it just has that throwback action style feel that is a lot of fun. Movies like Judge Dredd and Demolition Man. And as you watch evil fight good, you can't help but have a good time. It has a pretty short run time, but it provides some decent good times, I'll say that. that. It's just too bad that it's so generic. There's no original characters. Every character is like an archetype or a stereotype. There's no truly original characters, and they're not developed that much. But at the end of the day, if you just want something to kind of ease into, you want to take a trip down memory lane and watch like an old school 90s style action flick with Sylvester Stallone, still in great shape, still kicking ass, I think you'll have a good time with this. Don't expect anything amazing, but I think you'll have a good time with it. If like I said, you turn your brain off and you just want to have a good time, you're going to enjoy this one. So this is just a quick review. I wanted to get back into posting normal reviews on this. I have my What I've Been Watching video coming up to talk about everything that I watched in August. Some great titles there. There's a couple other movies that I want to review, and as we get into the spooky season, I'll be reviewing a lot of classic horror movies and things like that. So I think we're done here. Stay weird. Remember to always be yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
To survive in Mega City 1, you need serious self-defense. If you go out, carry a lawgiver, drive a safe vehicle, and definitely do not talk to strangers. In this town, there is only one law and one man to enforce it. To get the job, you must be judge, jury, and executioner. Only then will you know the meaning of dread. Judge Dredd the video game.